Hegel's works from the Gymnasium years, 1785 to 1788, translated by Simon Gross, continues the presentation of Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel's earliest surviving writings, following directly after Hegel's diary, 1785 to 1787. Composed during Hegel's final years at the Stuttgart Gymnasium and his early days at the Tübingen Seminary, these texts offer a unique glimpse into the intellectual formation of one of modern philosophy's most formidable figures. Collected and published here in English for the first time, this volume includes essays, dialogues, academic orations, and speculative reflections penned by Hegel between the ages of 15 and 18. These writings extend beyond personal observations and daily notes, offering structured exercises in classical rhetoric, metaphysical speculation, ethical inquiry, and theological critique. Among the highlights are Conversation Between Three Persons, a dramatic dialogue on political philosophy, On the Religion of the Greeks and Romans, a theological historical analysis, and On Some Benefits We Gain from Reading the Classical Greek and Roman Authors, a defense of humanist education. These pieces reveal a precocious author experimenting with form, tone, and philosophical range, already displaying traces of the dialectical thinking, systematic ambition, and engagement with antiquity that would come to define Hegel's mature philosophy. The translator's explanatory footnotes accompany each piece, contextualizing the references, clarifying difficult passages, and tracing the intellectual currents, ancient, Christian, and Enlightenment, that shaped the young Hegel's mind. This edition is based on the original German text from G.W.F. Hegel, Frühe Schriften I, edited by Friedhelm Nicholin and Gisela Schuler, Gesamtwerke Volume 1, 1989, published by Felix Meiner Verlag Hamburg, in cooperation with the Rheinisch-Westphalian Akademie der Wissenschaften, the Deutsche Forschungsgemeinschaft, the Hegel Commission, and the Hegel Archive of Ruhr University Bochum. Together with Hegel's diary, this volume completes the record of the young Hegel's gymnasium years, illuminating the early intellectual terrain from which his later philosophy would emerge. An essay from the Tübingen Seminary, 1785 to 1788. Conversation Between Three Persons, 1785, May 30th.
Have you thought about the plan I laid before you? Are you now resolved? I have considered it and weighed it thoroughly. Should the execution proceed as successfully as the plan is wisely and prudently arranged, then something magnificent would be accomplished.
I found it the same.
But now, let us also determine the details and track down the obstacles that will stand in our way.
After long reflection, I have found no particular difficulties.
But I have. I will lay them before you. Will the free Romans submit to our rule? Will Brutus, will Cassius, will the others who helped slay the noble Caesar remain quiet? Will Sextus Pompeius be easily appeased?
Oh, Octavius, no such scruples. Believe me, I have lived longer in the world, have more experience than you. Do you think that even a spark of patriotism still burns in them? Not at all. Through luxury and excess, they have been so debased from the grandeur of soul of their ancestors that they no longer care about freedom. Only recently, after Caesar's murder, when Brutus and Cassius stood on the rostrum and inflamed the people with hatred against great Julius to such a degree that they nearly laid hands on his sacred corpse in their fury, how much rhetoric did I need to shift their tone? Like feathers, they let themselves be blown this way and that. The soldier is already used to shedding the blood of citizens as well as of enemies, and he is on our side. With the common rabble, it takes but a few words, a little grain or money, and some public spectacles.
I will take care of that item.
You are entirely right, Antonius. That objection is now removed. But a Brutus, a Cassius, is far above the rabble sphere.
Oh, they have lost all weight, all affection, all prestige through Caesar's murder and my speech. The people are on our side. What then can they undertake? And until now, they have been quiet.
I received letters scarcely 4 hours ago stating that they are secretly preparing for resistance, fearing something from us. I meant to bring you the news immediately, but you were neither at the capital nor at home.
I was at my country estate. That Brutus and Cassius are arming for war does not greatly trouble me. We are as much warriors as they. We must only be vigilant, unite our forces, and therefore immediately summon our legates and tribunes.
But beyond them, there are still many enemies who, though they wear friendliness on their faces, hide venomous daggers in their hearts. These should be removed from our path.
Rightly said, my Octavius. We discussed this in our last meeting, named most of them, and swore them to death. Here, I have written them down. Read it.
Cicero too?
Yes, Octavius. In the last meeting, we resolved that each of us may choose someone he would gladly send to the realm of the dead. Cicero was my mortal enemy. His speeches and letters prove it all too clearly. And Lepidus even gave up his own brother.
Yes, I did.
I can never revoke my given word, but the man pains me greatly.
Here, Lepidus, read it too. My uncle Lucius appears on the list at your request, so we are balanced. Each of us has sacrificed a man dear to him for our common good. But let us now turn to another matter, namely the division of the lands.
That point I think we should let rest for now. Only after the subjugation of Brutus and Cassius shall we resolve it. But we must seriously consider countermeasures against these enemies.
I suggest that you and I leave Rome, assemble our army, and then march upon them in their provinces. Lepidus can secure the city. Do you approve?
Yes, entirely.
I also agree. I shall depart immediately and take the necessary steps.
There, now he is gone, that simple man. Now I can speak more freely with you, Octavius. Should we let that barren head one day take part in ruling the world?
It was you who drew him into this alliance. Now it can likely no longer be changed. I believe he has proven himself a good soldier in many places.
Believe my words, I have come to know him. The man has no merits of his own, no intellectual faculties. He can only carry out orders well. Like a dead machine, he must be set in motion by others. Believe me, had he no powerful friends, it would never have occurred to me to admit him. We need him now, but I think, once we have reached the end of our course, once we are secure enough, we will rid him of his unearned honors, feed him on husks, or remove him entirely, and we will enjoy the harvest that he sowed and reaped for us.
I leave that to your discretion. Let us speak further on this matter only after the successful completion of our designs. But now, Antonius, we must be cautious. Closer and more terrifying storms gather over our heads. Let us therefore quickly put ourselves into good order so that we may defy the approaching, soon raging tempest with courage.
Yes, let us do so. I have a few matters to settle before our departure. Perhaps we shall speak again this evening. Until then, farewell.
Foolishness left first, and then arrogance followed. What Antonius said about Lepidus is not untrue, but Antonius is proud, power-hungry, voluptuous, cruel. Once our enemies are defeated and Lepidus set aside, Antonius, proud of his deeds and experience, will want to lead me, a younger man, according to his own will, but he will not find in me a Lepidus. My unenslaved neck is not accustomed to bowing beneath the condescending gaze of a master. He will wallow in pleasures. I shall allow it for a time and remain silent. But when his body and soul are weakened, and he stands in contempt, then shall I raise my head, show him my true greatness, and then, aut Caesar aut nihil. Either he shall humble himself in the dust before me, or I shall prefer death to a life of disgrace.
Notes: Brutus and Cassius. Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus were the principal conspirators in Julius Caesar's assassination, 15 March 44 BC. After the murder, they fled Rome and organized resistance against Caesar's heirs, ultimately facing defeat at the battles of Philippi in 42 BC. Sextus Pompeius, the youngest son of Pompey the Great, held Sicily and commanded a powerful naval force after Caesar's death. He was a significant obstacle to the Second Triumvirate until his defeat in 36 BC. Roman populace and games. In the late Republic, large grain distributions, annona, and lavish spectacles, gladiatorial shows, and chariot races were used to secure popular favor. Such measures often pacified citizens and undermined political dissent. Lepidus. Marcus Aemilius Lepidus, 89 to 13 BC, joined Mark Antony and Octavian, the future Augustus, to form the Second Triumvirate in November 43 BC. Though initially powerful, he was soon sidelined and relegated to Africa. Proscription lists. The triumvirates employed proscription, published lists of enemies to be executed and whose property was confiscated, as a means to eliminate opposition and fill state coffers. Notable victims included Cicero and other prominent senators. Cicero. Marcus Tullius Cicero, 106 to 43 BC, renowned orator and statesman, vocally opposed Antony. He was proscribed and executed in December 43 BC. His hands and head were displayed in the Roman Forum. Division of lands. Following the assassination, conspirators debated redistributing Roman territories among themselves. Such land divisions were a common method to reward veterans and secure allegiances, but were deferred until rivals were subdued. Octavius, Octavian. Gaius Octavius Thurinus, 63 BC to AD 14, Julius Caesar's adopted son and heir. After forming the Second Triumvirate, he gradually outmaneuvered Antony and Lepidus to become Augustus, Rome's first emperor. Aut Caesar, aut nihil, Latin for either Caesar or nothing, this motto became associated with Octavian's ambition to consolidate supreme authority. It reflects his determination to claim singular power rather than share it under the triumviral arrangement. Historical setting, May 30th, 1785. Though this dialogue is dated May 30th, 1785, it dramatizes events of 43 BC, shortly before the establishment of the Second Triumvirate in November 43 BC, and reflects late 18th century gymnasium exercises in classical rhetoric and historical reconstruction.